under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we gather tonight asking for your direction and your blessings. Hopefully that we can make good decisions for the city of Chetopa. We pray for those that have nothing to eat tonight and all the carnage that's going on in our world. Please look after us. In Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, you should have a revised copy of the agenda that was laying in your stack tonight, so you'll notice the changes in red.
I didn't know.
Yes, you did. Keep digging, it was on top.
Oh, I went through this already 3 times. Let me just write it in.
That's right there.
Oh, here it is. I got it.
You got me.
Okay, good deal.
Thank you.
So I get a motion to accept the agenda as.
Make that motion.
Got a motion by Ernie, second by Betsy, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda passes. We got minutes from the November 4th meeting.
Motion to approve.
I would like to point your attention that we're using a different format for your minutes. You might not have noticed.
Why the change? That was my only question, but I didn't want to.
Amy and I talked about it. We've been wanting to do bullet format for quite some time to narrow the scope of the minutes.
It reads faster.
It reads faster. The facts are there. It just gets rid of a lot of these, days, I's.
Yeah. Motion to approve.
Okay, I got a motion by Ernie, second by Jessica. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Treasury reports.
Make a motion to approve.
I got a motion by Ernie, a second by Justin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Municipal court report. Oh, did you have one?
I didn't have court last time.
Okay, got it. Let me get a report here. Warrant register.
Motion to approve.
I would note to you guys that we euthanized 1 dog and 3 cats
Yes.
at the vet clinic.
So it's $80 to euthanize the dog and $100 to euthanize a cat. So it's
300.
Yeah, so for 300 and 1 for 80.
Right, and our veterinarian won't take cats.
Because he doesn't have storage space for them. Is that what I hear?
I don't think he even takes.
He just won't take cats, period. To euthanize them? Okay. All right.
Okay, I think, did we have a motion by Ernie on the warrant?
Yes.
Okay. Second by Linda, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, first visitor we have is Miss Sally Davis of Davis Realty. If you would take the podium, and we're gonna get down to some business. Aaron, did you want to speak as well? Or
I
you're just here to?
don't know
Okay.
what to speak about yet. I don't know anything.
All right, so you're here to fact find.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Sally.
Okay, so I just have the 3 things I was gonna speak on today. The first one you don't have anything on, it's on the library, update. There was 2 emails, 1 phone call, and then that was a no-show. Nobody's asked to see it since, but we're still advertising and things kind of started moving yesterday a little bit, so hopefully that breaks loose. Second is on some acreage, I was asked to speak on, $10 store. And so if you have that paperwork, I just brought, the first one was just the county sheet to show you it's 8.16 acres. That's all I can go on until we have a survey, if we were to move forward. The second, I'm sure you all know where it is, but it's just kind of an aerial overview. The blue is the piece we're talking about, 8.16. The yellow highlighted area is dollar store. And then at the other end, on the property, well, not on the property, there's two pieces. One I couldn't tell what that parcel was on my app, and the next one was a single wide with Kim Wearick. She lives down there. So that's just that little area right there as reference point. And then the next page, just kind of a bullet point of what we would need to do to go forward. I can go over each one of them. You can go over them and ask me questions. Whatever we need to do on that lane.
I know the question that was brought up at the last meeting was concerning the survey charges and whether those could be done before the property.
Yes, and so that information is not on there because I finally got it as I was walking out the door this evening. Cornerstone is $2,500 to survey the parcel and then break it off into 2+ acres each if that's what you decided to do. It's $5,500 if the city would demand a plat map. They said most of them do. It would be up to the city, and then it'd be more if you had to do a plat map off that. So that could be. So what I do is I would do wait until you got an offer to do the survey, and that company would wait on us to close for that invoice. Cornerstone will be a little slower, but a little cheaper, and Ag Engineering will be faster, but a little more money. She did not contact me today off the estimate she was going to do, so I don't have that information. But short story, yes, we can do it at a later date. I need a minimum of 6 weeks to schedule, have it done, sent to the state, and then back to finish the process. But we can pay for it at a later date, yes.
Now, I know I had, and I'll just throw this in there too, I talked to Sally about this several weeks ago, but the downside that she expressed to me was she had talked to several developers over in her area of expertise, and their concern was the city not having a grocery store. However, this past week, the new owners of the grocery store came to town and turned the utilities back on. Last Friday?
Yeah, they just, before it went in to inspect it, and they did have it back off because it won't be returned for another month.
Okay. So, to me, that's a plus. I didn't even know that we were anticipating reopening that building as a grocery store. So, that helps in this case, I think, a little bit. I think also we had decided unofficially that we wanted to stay below the 2 acre division mark for city ordinance purposes. If we were going to parcel it out. But it doesn't sound like we have to make that decision.
You
until
don't.
we get offers.
I think we can talk a little bit about the city structure could hold a sewer, so we would do septic. Septic can be put on something of 2 acres, depending, on where the house is gonna set, and things of that nature. So, when my husband installed them, as long as we got the same lateral and the rock and deep enough, it was fine. When I spoke to the guy, most recently, and he comes to Levette, he said it just depends where that house would have to set, and where your build back were, and what your restrictions were gonna be if we did less than the 2 acre.
Did you talk to anybody from the county that does that? Did you talk to
I
Charlie
did
Morris?
reach out to Charlie, he has not answered.
So it sounds like to me, there's very little risk for the city to go ahead and list the property. I asked Sally to come here and express that herself, as far as whether we could, get the survey paid for.
What did we give the, neighboring parties? How much time did we give them at the last meeting before we listed it?
We gave them the option to come to that meeting and nothing further. I don't know if they've approached any of those homeowners have approached any of the council members, but there wasn't a very good lack of showing in my opinion. So the question to the council is, at this point, do we wanna go ahead and let Davis Real Estate list this for us? And what you may not know, I wanna make sure everybody knows, we did sell the old fire station this past week for the amount that we listed it for Mr. Bernard.
We have a contract.
Nobody got that.
I said we got a contract, I haven't got a sign.
Thanks for informing me I bought it.
What'd you say?
Thanks for informing me that I bought it.
Nobody told you that?
No.
That's good.
As far as I know, you do, so, thank you for that, thank you for that. I came across an old picture of that Atco station from the 50s. I'm sure there's more out there, but it was interesting to look at that and see what it looks like now. So hopefully you'll be able to take it back to its former glory.
I thought we made a motion to table.
We did.
Sell this property until the 20th.
We did, but the question was whether we would have to pay for the survey up front, and we do not. That question we got answered this week, so that's why.
Well, the gentleman that was here heard that, he probably was made aware of that.
Well, he would be aware when the sign goes up, I mean, and if he wants, if he wants a parcel, then he could put in I guess a bid.
Cause I thought we wasn't gonna sell it in 2 acre parcels,
Not two, less than two.
less than 2, because we don't want the animal issue.
Right. That's my opinion. It would have to be a council vote on that, but
So are we gonna be alright with the lateral lines then?
So the only thing is looking at that as well is on the end of that, where those two pieces are and the trees, I did go straight in today and look at it, and so you go straight in on 9th and it takes into the property out, so that kinda makes it a weird spot on the back, so I don't know if you guys need to vacate, what that, there's a road that would be a big chunk, and I'm not sure if that one area to the right, behind the single wide is an acre or what it is, I didn't measure it off, I didn't see it until I came to town.
is that the 4-wheeler trail back there?
I just went in on 9th, and then it's actually 9th on my map, yeah, and then turned into 8th.
Well, do we want it surveyed in less than 2 acres then?
Well, the ordinance says that if you have 2 acres or more, that you can
Have animals.
have.
And you can restrict on those as well. Whatever you want to do. I don't care what you do, you could sell it as a whole piece, whatever you wanna do, but you could restrict being only single family.
So, so the concrete with the question is 2 acres, but 2 acres or more. Right?
Or less.
Or less.
But my understanding is we can list it as a whole or as a part, and then decide as a governing body
How we wanna sell it and
how we want to sell it and what the offers are on those individuals.
Make a motion to list it.
And do we want to list it for the, 52,000 as a whole and 6,500 per acre?
Yes.
So I got a motion by Ernie,
I'll second it.
second by Betsy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I just would need to know if you got any kind of restrictions, zoning, things
We-
of that nature.
We're not zoned here.
Okay.
Um,
Any build back requirements 10 feet off the property line?
trailer houses on?
That's another part of something that we're working on
You
too.
gonna let anybody build whatever they want on there?
I don't think so. I think, you know, the single dwelling family rules ought to apply. Because if we decide to partial it out, we're creating a subdivision of sorts.
Right.
And you should have a say-so in what your neighbors do. That close, I think, but
Yeah.
all of that, we can decide.
Each time we get an offer, I can, yeah, send it on, and I'll do some kind of aerial and measure and see what that Ninth Street does, if it's actually a street, to that end. It may. Okay, and then the last thing is you have, I didn't give everybody, the contract, the offer is there, cause you said to bring it, you can sign it.
Right.
It is for, we listed for 20,000, we got the offer for 20,000. Splitting title fees is on your breakdown, you do have that last page, and then my commission, and then the buyer is paying, Mr. Chestnut. And so, they close as soon as possible, we you lost a week, but I bet Ty can pull it out and close this by, I think it was the first.
What does the city net?
That's on the last sheet there, bottom page, bottom of it, I'm sorry, I don't have that, I gave all those away.
18,375.
Done deal.
I'll need a motion, from the council for me to sign
Make a motion to sign the agreement on the fire station sale.
got a motion by Ernie?
I got a question, oh, I'm sorry.
Old fire station.
How come the fees wasn't split? Why did I have to pay Cody's fees? I mean, I said I would, just because Cody did the contract work and all that, but I don't understand this.
So I told him he could throw an offer in of the commission, and I think he said 1,000 at first, and I said, I'll go back and tell him, well, that first offer, didn't make. When the next one came in, he said, throw in, I think 5, and I said, I could give him 4, because we were in the middle of it, and splitting it, and he said, well, they're not gonna pay me, and I said, okay, and when I got the offer, it just had yours written in there. I mean, they hand wrote that in there.
So he said who wasn't gonna pay?
He said, I don't think my buyer will pay me, and I said, well, I can give you half of what I got, but
So
when I got the offer, they wrote it in there.
So I was on the phone with him, or when we were standing there, and right when we were standing there, he said that nobody would split the commission with him. He was doing it on his own.
Yeah,
We never talked about it. I offered to give him some money because he wasn't gonna get anything.
well, no, I would've given him half. We had the listing, at 4%, and so I said, we're not gonna offer compensation, you can put it in the offer, which is kinda how they do it. You just say, hey, I want $1,000, and which is what he said the first time. And so when I went back through there, the 15 didn't make it or break it. And so when I came back, I think I said 4 or 5, I'd split it with you, and then I got the offer and it just was written in there that you were gonna pay him, so.
Yeah, cause
I can
he
tell you-
was told that, he was not gonna get anything.
Initially, the city signed the contract for $20,000 and a 4% commission. That's all we were ever gonna pay. It was $800, right?
Yeah. So
She offered 400.
Yeah, okay, I was standing there that day when he was on the phone and it
I
was
don't
clear
know.
that, he wasn't gonna get a split.
Yeah, it's not written
It's
in
not
the
my
split,
problem,
but
right?
yeah, you always offer and ask for compensation with the compensation rider. And so when we hung up, he did some texting with me, and I sent him the documents, including the compensation rider, so he could ask for that because he doesn't have that rider in his system. And he only sent back the contract and just wrote in the special conditions that you were paying, so I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I was being a nice guy because he said he wasn't getting nothing. And he's the one who made up the contract, so.
Do you think we could, you wanna call him and see if he'll do 400 and 400 if you were gonna give him 5?
Yeah.
We can take, if you guys wanna accept that, I can write it up later and we can change that.
We're only paying $800.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, we can,
You're the listing
we can
agent.
figure it out the backside, we would change that in the initial.
You guys gotta fight over your own commissions that way, right?
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say, I don't think that's
What?
unusual if another real estate broker shows the property to get paid for it if it sells.
No, you always ask, so
I didn't
it's,
know that.
it's always been, you ask for compensation, and in the last 2 years, you actually have to ask for it, so put it in the compensation rider.
I don't know many people that work for free.
Yeah, because we changed that with the initial strike.
Did you have a third issue?
No, it was just the update on the library.
Oh, okay.
But you will have title fees.
No, it was.
Yeah, that, yeah,
First
split.
time,
Mhm.
there was no second, and then.
You do realize that, don't you? You do have title fees.
Yeah, they're in there. Yeah, his numbers won't change, just the contract page will change. Of commission, like you said, they don't care, but I need that initial value. So worst case, I guess you guys could Cody 100 and I give him 400, but we can change that page.
So back to the library, you had some hits on the library.
So 2 emails kind of right away, you know, I don't know who they are, I don't know where they're coming from, just my questions. And then we had one independence agent say she was coming over, and so that night I was like, hey, what's the feedback? And she said, well, they stood me up, and I said, okay, they're gonna reschedule. I said, okay. So 2 weeks later, I said, hey, did they reschedule? And she said, no, but they haven't ghosted me yet, and then I haven't checked with her since then.
Okay, so they have a nibble on their end, they're coming over.
Yes, yeah,
So-
she's
so-
bringing a buyer.
Right, okay, so, needless to say, there we go, before Thanksgiving, we might have that one sold too.
So the question, like I said, and you guys can
What
Google
else we gotta
that.
sell? We got a lot more stuff to sell.
You do vehicles?
Not
No.
online, but I'll sell anything.
I'm gonna bring my big torch.
So it's paperwork.
So IPI, so you guys move on and I'll just talk to him.
All right, Wes, you're up. We got BG Consultants. Gonna line us down on the sewer project.
Yes,
Right,
yeah.
I finished it. Now we're waiting.
I had a motion by Ernie, but I'm tabling right now until he gets it.
Oh, okay.
They're haggling out there.
We'll come back to it.
We need to make that known. Otherwise, I said we need to make that known, otherwise there's a motion on the floor.
Yeah, we'll know.
See a couple new faces. I'm Wes Weiser, BG Consultants. Been working with the city for a few years now, on sewer project. And I'm here tonight to discuss, final paperwork, in the form of a final change order and 2 pay applications. And discuss, you know, closing this project out and what that means as far as the project is concerned. So we issued preliminary substantial completion in June of 2025 as basically the point at which the majority of the work has been done, the sewer could be used for its intended purpose. At that point, we had still, you know, watched post-construction CCTV, we had some review, identified some additional warranty work and punch list items that needed to be addressed. Since that time, the contractor has come back, addressed a lot of those. And in October, had addressed the items that we had identified as warranty items and punch lists. The punch list had been kind of an evolving thing. Sounds like the mayor's specialties that did the manholes and, trenchless lining. They rutted up a few yards and, I think Bennett's been working for the last 6 months or so to try to remedy that. My understanding is that they've addressed most of those issues. One thing I do want to mention, I mentioned that in October, they wrapped up the warranty items. So that's what we considered our final substantial completion. And then notice of acceptability work was issued in October as well. Part of the contract is that contractor maintains their performance bond, excuse me, for a year after the substantial completion date. That year is defined as the correction period. If any other warranty, material defect, workmanship, things come up in that year, the contractor maintains the performance bond. He'll come back and repair those at no cost to the city. And if he doesn't, we've got that performance bond to go and get those done.
So that started 6 June, Wes?
No, that we're considering started at October 17th, since the warranty repairs, there's a 4-month period there where they were performed on the lines where we had identified some repairs that needed to be done. We're starting that date on October 17th. That's the conversation we got with the contractor. So all that being said, I'll follow up with you guys next fall. Feel free to reach out if something comes up between now and then, but 10 months from now, I'll be giving you guys a call just to make sure, like, hey, we're coming up on the end of this correction period. If we can think of anything that has come about, basically the warranty on your car, you get to 30,000 miles and let's have a look over and make sure there's nothing needs to be addressed under warranty. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of what we're talking about as far as project closeout. As far as action items for the city, so I have provided Amy a project update at the beginning of the month that kind of summarized all this. On there, my recommended action item, we had 2 pay applications. One was to bring the project to completion and with the final change order set that final contract price, but there was still retainage to make sure that those, everything had been addressed. And then we had that final paperwork. So there's 2 pieces of paper we need to get back to the contractor. And I've since gotten those just recently. I forwarded them to Amy today. But they are the contractor's affidavit and the surety by the bonding agency. Basically those 2 things, the contractor is assuring that everything that he's put in and provided belongs to the city, free of any lien, and the bonding company is saying, yes, we agree that the contractor spent this much money to perform the project. We agree with this final estimate. We're bonded for this much. So what I've got is the final change order that we talked about way back when we first started the project. Any kind of rehab project is going to have a change order, just the nature of we're estimating quantities when we put those together. We try to be conservative. We know going in we're going to be abandoning some taps, but if we're going to abandon 20%, we like to estimate 15% in the quantities because a change order deduct at the end of a project is always a better conversation to have than a change order addition. So on our $3 million project, we had about $106,000 deduct of change order. That's taking this tap out, which removes some surfacing, changing this manhole from rehab to replace, things that we just find in the field. This point repair, we called it out from 50 to 60 feet based on CCTV, but they got down there and the pipe's falling apart and we added 5 feet to it. Things that we find in the field that, you can't anticipate from a camera down the sanitary line. PAP 10 brought the contract or the completed amount to that contract amount with that $106,000 deduct, and so that's in the amount of $11,346.08. And then PAP 11 is basically to release the retainage. As I mentioned, I had in my recommended action items to authorize signing of PAP 11 contingent on receipt of those 2 documents from the contractor, so we know we've got those in hand. We since have gotten those in hand, so my recommended action items are to execute the final change order and PAPs 10 and 11. That's going to bring the project to a close. Like I said, we've still got our warranty period. The city still has a relationship with that contractor throughout that period, and there are still some things, on our side, we're still finalizing our record drawings and everything to bring down to you guys for your records, so that what you've got is reflective of what's in the ground there. What we put out for bid shows every tap that we saw before the project was rehabilitated. it's every single tap that CCTV picked up 4 years ago, right? What we're gonna give you at the end is only gonna show those taps that are reinstated. It's gonna have, you know, if we found the manhole in the field, I don't think we ran into that on this project, but we have before. That we're gonna have those things, you know, incorporated into that plan set, so you guys have an accurate record of your system. And I can also bring a couple large project maps, system maps that could be citywide. They're kind of nice to have, you know, 36 by 22, be able to look at everything all together. I can make a few of those. You can throw them in your superintendent's truck, keep them in City Hall, how you want to do that. But yeah, I guess that's,
We'll put 11 on the next one, we'll probably put 8, 10 on this one.
okay. So that's my update. This has been a long process. I appreciate you guys. There's been several learning experiences during this project for me. I appreciate you guys bearing with us, and I'll take a lot of these lessons and move forward. But you know, we had quite a delay there in design before we could even bid, and then getting some additional funding that, you know, prices kind of skyrocketed there while we were waiting on that, and we were able to find some funding in the meantime, and I think everything worked out. You guys got a pretty good deal on the project, so I hope you guys are happy and satisfied with the result. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Wes, did you ever pin down exactly how long the delay with the Osage Nation really was? I mean,
I think it was just under 2 years.
2 years, okay. I know it was quite a while.
I mean, I think there was 12 months just of contract negotiation between the Osage Nation and the Rural Utility Services, which is the national branch of rural development for USDA. KDHE was involved, and there were a lot of fingers in the pie, and just getting the contract, agreeing to what scope the archaeological survey needed to be performed. I remember that, I think that was a year-long process, just getting that contract in place. And then having that survey performed, getting the report back, and finding out that there really wasn't a concern to begin with. It was interesting, but no, I think it was just under 2 years. If I remember right.
And have you been made aware of the smoke test? I know that's not on your scope, but.
So, I did look up, KRWA has those letters, whenever they issue letters, they have them posted on their website. I did go to their website and look it up. It looked like they found 20 or 30, sites.
27.
Yeah. I would say, you know, the big things are gonna be, and so what the smoke test is gonna tell you, that's, you know, everywhere out in the system, and they did it when the ground wasn't completely dry. They like to do it when it's completely dry. I'm sure Jason explained all this, I'm probably repeating it, but when the ground's completely dry, anywhere along that main can come up through the ground, the cracks form every summer, right? When the ground's a little wetter, you're gonna see the open pipes, the downspouts, and everything. That's gonna be the main outlet. What you're still not gonna see is any kind of connection that's inside a house. And those are the hardest to identify and address. I've seen sump pumps in a basement corner that are just plumbed right over to a pre-trap, you know. I've seen floor drains that they're plumbed right, but then somebody has a water issue in their basement and they just, you know, drill a hole through the bottom of it, so as the groundwater comes up, it just hits that trap and goes out. Those things, you're only gonna be able to find and identify those with some effort and cooperation from residents. I know there's several cities that have started to implement like required inspections anytime a property sells, just to make sure that everything in there is up to code. But have you guys, you know, since last we talked, have you guys been seeing still major peaks in your flow and inflow and infiltration?
It's not quite as bad as what Miles was telling me on the last rainstorm when the manholes weren't spewing as much, but still was a problem. And we sent letters to each one of these property owners to inform them of what their particular problem was on their property, hoping that they would take the necessary steps to fix that. But there's nothing we can do to really enforce that.
Right, and that's the tricky part, especially if there's places where you know where the issue is, or what an issue is, but it's on the private side, you know, how do
I
you?
think a lot of these addresses were vacant homes, and until somebody lives there, it's probably not a priority for a lot of people.
Right.
But I just want to say, in my time in communicating with you, I appreciate how attentive you were to our needs and your company. I made most of the meetings, and you guys were there for us, so.
Sure, well, I appreciate it, I appreciate that very much, thank you. Like I said, if you guys have my contact information, you guys have been very easy to work with and be present for. Some cities, they want you there for every council meeting, which I'm more than happy to do, but, it's always nice when, someone's like, no, we prefer you to just jump on via Teams or a phone call, or, you know, keep Amy updated, and then, you know, as we get into more paperwork items and stuff like this, and contract specifics, more than happy to come down and give an update, but, yeah, I guess, keep my number, keep my contact information if anything else comes up, but, hope it was, as pleasant of an experience as it could have been.
Thank you much, Wes.
Yeah, no problem, thank you guys.
Thank you. And just for the public, I'd like to say that since you don't have the documents we have, to be transparent, the sewer project came in at $2,900,773.50. It was originally contracted at $3,006,792 even. So when you decrease by the change order, $106,018.50, that's the number we ended up with. A lot of the credit for the financing goes to Amy here for getting the $3.7 million grant from the water folks here at the state. So as long as it took to do it, and the prior administration was involved in this quite deeply as well. It ended up being a pretty good success in my mind. Okay, so I had a motion on the floor. Did y'all get your business settled?
Yes, I can strike through, we can initial, and we're good.
Okay. So I have a motion by Ernie.
Yep.
And who had the second? Did we have a second? We never got there. Okay.
I'll second.
Second by Justin. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for that.
Could I grab that contract so he can do his part?
You sure can.
You can do yours and send it to him. I'll scan it back into you tomorrow.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Makes the value even scan.
Amy, what do you need a motion to pay 11?
Yes, for the $145,038.68.
Make a motion to pay half 11 for Bennett, $145,038.68.
Motion by Ernie, second by Betsy. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
The only thing I didn't mention, when I was talking about those big maps, I should have mentioned this. We'll often do, there's a sign company in Manhattan that we have make, nice big aluminum signs, that go up on the wall. And it'd just be like a GIS map that we've prepared for the city. But it'll show the whole system and be an aerial view of the city. If that sounds like something you guys are interested in, I can definitely try to get one of those put together for you. I've got another project down the road in Columbus, so we can get that made, and I can get that to you sometime here in the next few months.
Would that only include the work that was done at this point, or would it be the prior project?
I can include any of the system information that we've got. So we've got your whole system, sanitary system. I don't have your water system in GIS, but I've got your whole sanitary system in there, and it doesn't cost us anything else to show that as well. But it'd be your whole system, manhole numbers, the tap information that we've got.
Is there an additional cost for that?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Just asking,
No,
really.
no. I appreciate the question.
I'll take it.
Give us 10 copies.
I'll give you 9 paper copies. And we'll have your note. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, I think we're down to utility bookkeeper, going around the horn.
Okay, I do have something I wanted to address, but, so there's been a few social media posts where people are saying their total amount due is more than what, like, the services listed are, and that is because those people have a payment agreement, so it doesn't reflect it in the service charge, but it's on the total amount due. And
Payment
that's
agreement for back.
for back
utilities.
utilities, yes. And they come in and they sign a document, and we give them a copy if they want. So I just wanted to clear that up.
And that's above and beyond their current charges, is what you're trying to say.
Right.
Okay. I think I heard a little bit about that. But thank you for bringing that to the public's attention.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Thank you. Court clerk.
I have nothing.
City clerk.
Okay, the only thing that I have is the float for the Christmas parade. So who is gonna be on our council float, I need a count. And then I'll let you know what the float's gonna be. I'm just trying to figure out how many of you guys are gonna be able to ride on the float. I mean, everyone can do it.
Come on, guys, get the hands up in the air.
I know you're,
I'm not on any other floats than this will be.
okay,
Mentioned.
okay,
I'm happy with the museum.
okay. Chuck?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, okay.
We're not sure who's driving yet.
So is it one or two
What?
floats?
Floats, we'll have two.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do the council float, and then we're gonna do the side-by-side with the train, thing with the kids in the back, so we'll have two. Okay, that's all I had, thank you very much.
While we're on that subject, I know we've got a Christmas tree.
Yes, we do.
Promised or delivered?
It was promised and it will be delivered. We will have to set it up.
Okay, any idea when we would need?
I think we're probably gonna, need to have it set up like December, what's that Friday, guys? Thursday or Friday of the week before. Cause Linda has the kids coming on that Monday.
You said to December 12th, so Friday.
So either the 4th or the 5th, because she's gonna want to decorate it on the 8th. So,
Okay.
does the city guys work on Friday?
Yep.
So maybe that Friday then?
The 5th?
I will have it here that day.
Do we need to find the tree stand or?
Phil thinks he's got it located.
Okay.
Phil was working on
All
that,
decorations.
yeah. I think it's down there and my biggest concern right now is where Amy always parks her food truck. It's kind of where we always put the Christmas tree. So I assume we're gonna have to move the Christmas tree up closer to the street, but we don't wanna block the corner view. But there's a high line wire, I don't know if it's electric or it's just a wire that we usually attach attach the Christmas tree too.
Is Phil talking about that one, we stuck it in the pipe and then we took the cables and we drove the stakes in the ground?
Yeah, but he says we always tie it to a highline wire also, so.
I was gonna say that.
I can't remember.
I don't know if that's
I can't remember, but I don't think so. I remember we drove stakes in the ground, so.
I ordered a new star, so it won't be very heavy for whatever we do, so.
Right.
But that's the biggest issue that I see is with Amy's truck where it is, because, the band is gonna come and play that evening and also do some caroling, so we're gonna need to figure out a light system over there, cause it's always kinda dark, and,
Well, she's generally only there on Wednesdays, right?
yeah, she's coming Friday night too. She's gonna be there from
Well, I
four to
mean,
eight.
if the tree's there, she'll pull down away. The tree will be there before she'll be there,
Then
right?
she's gonna have her cord running. See,
We put in an extra electric down there now, you know.
you know, I just don't know how far she will have to move out of the way.
Let me talk to you afterwards about it, if you got just a minute.
Because I'm thinking maybe she needs to go east and west with her food truck that night, out there on the street.
Maybe over on the buckboard side, I don't know. Anyway, I'll talk to you after.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No.
City attorney? I don't have anything. Well, I'll say that, Amy hates me when I do this. I'm gonna jump down to Officer Eckler's restitution. I don't know that you guys got a copy of it, but the demand letter has been, written, approved, and sent.
And it's on registered return receipt.
Okay. Once this is a 10-day response,
I gave it 20.
20 days, response to the law office of Adamson. Yeah, we'll be going forward if she doesn't respond by then.
Okay.
So, thanks for getting that up on the priority list, Shane.
No problem.
Okay, PD. Can you give us an update on police vehicles?
So we've got one getting picked up tomorrow, the one that broke down up in Hutch, and then, this one, he's waiting on the part to come in. It was coming in from Buffalo, New York. He gave me an update today, said that, it should be on the way. He was hoping to have it fixed this weekend, but it didn't come. And then we're still waiting to find out. Amy talked to Josh. I've got to try catching him up there so we can get it moved out. It's pinned in between vehicles. We can't move it even if we have the keys. So he's gonna have to move some cars out of the way to get it back. But it just needs to be reprogrammed, so I'll have to go to the dealership for that.
Thank you. Do you want to talk about a part-time officer?
No. I, made some phone calls today. I think I'm gonna hold off on that.
Okay, I just tickling the brain.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go council. Hey, Ernie, what do you have?
I wanna, bring up this, I'd like to see us reuse these. I don't know what it costs, but I'm sure it costs a little bit, but I think we could reuse these and repurpose these envelopes, because I know everybody must have, well, Jess, but I mean, everybody, I've got a lot of these. But I think if we had a bin, we could throw them in,
Yes, or leave them on the table.
leave them on the table, and you could reuse mine, and then that's gonna save us some money.
Okay.
So, but. You have any of this stuff? Oh, yes. Gotcha. That's it.
Okay. Betsy, what do you have?
Nothing.
worked on Willow Street, and everyone's working fine until I closed it all up, it's hot. So I sent Amy a list of stuff I needed.
A new generator.
About 2 minutes ago, no.
I was like, when?
About 2 minutes ago.
Okay, yes, he did send me a list, I'm not into the
Yeah,
computer.
that cross all needs to be wrapped. I found they're all laying out there by the fence, been crumpled all over. It has to have that insulation on to keep it from overheating once it's all boxed in. So as soon as I get that in, I'll get it wrapped. But I put the sensor in there and I finished flushing the radiator stuff out, so. It's ready to go. And hopefully Friday, I don't think it's on, yeah, Russell Creek. We set that other pole, and I didn't bring it by, I got a list of material to take to build that platform.
We did set the second pole?
No, we just got the kid in to do that, the stamper for stamping dirt back in. They got little parts.
The tamper that they tamp in around the poles, it blowed a seal or something, they just got the kit that reseals.
And I was thinking, did I see something on the transformer? We're still gonna get them out of,
I think we'll get them out of, the old charcoal plant. Yeah, stick 2 of them down, or 3 of them down to there. They're big enough for it, so.
is that something we can do or we don't have?
What do you have?
I don't really have.
I gotta get with AD on setting up that guardrail for the.
Yeah, did I find any?
It,
You pipe? Or you put the rail?
I think we'll probably just put pipe and concrete in as well, since.
That's why they had some.
At the Riverside Park.
No, here at the drive-through, on the building here. Keep it from running into the building here.
How many you want? I've got 6. I've got 6 4x4 metal pipes.
It's probably good, right?
Yeah,
Do you have 6?
yeah. I talked to Jason about it,
Okay, yeah.
but I didn't know he was putting it in the drive-through window yet.
It's, yeah, we gotta get the rail in next, so yeah, if you got that, I'll get it marked where they.
All right, I'll work on Brady's.
And Brady's, you know, let me use the welding and everything like that.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Justin, question, did we hear back on poles?
I have never heard back from him about that, so.
Okay, Linda?
No, I was just gonna call Amy today and ask her, get ahold of Agnes about the pole, but they took care of that
They
today.
did,
So,
they did.
I
Well,
went
that's
to school.
Both, and the one at 6th and Maple,
Oh, wow.
at the alley, that was a big hole. So that's how they took
That's
care of
really
it.
good.
Justin?
Goose eggs. I got nothing. I'm consistent.
You're what?
Consistent.
Okay. We're gonna have to have some citizens start calling you.
I think you're afraid of my area code.
That or the house.
That too, that too.
By my list, we're down to sealed bids on city vehicles. I think Amy's got some related to the council. The first one is from Llewellyn Backhoe and Trenching. And what we're doing is selling, or putting up for bids for, city vehicles that you all know about and attract surplus to the city. Okay, Zach wants to bid $1,500 for the F-350 utility truck. the 1992. You might want to try that.
Is that,
That jet rider?
that jet rod truck probably?
Yeah, that'd be what it is, 1992.
It said Ford F-350 utility truck, I think is the one.
We've got our,
Where's that at, oh, right
I
here?
will verify. Yeah, he put Ford F-350, so that's
That's
the,
the bottom one on, under the equipment on the back page.
that's the utility truck he's running.
The yellow,
That's the yellow truck?
yes.
Okay, that's the
Yeah.
yellow truck, okay.
used to belong to the water plant.
Yeah.
Second bid from Mike Brady. He's bidding on the 92 F-350 utility, $300.
What year is it?
92. The third bid is Fleet Maintenance Solutions across the street. The yellow 92 Ford truck, $750.
You guys wanna see these?
Oh. Steve Mason was bidding on the 92 F-350 utility truck, for $351.
That's the same.
Guess the other one worked.
Okay, now, make a point here that we have a 92 and a 92. We have two 92s.
Right, well, they put F-350
They walk around here.
F-350,
F-350.
Right.
so it's not the jet rider.
Okay.
And the last bid is from Rocky Hill Enterprises of Coffeyville. Bidding on all 5.
Wow, they're all the same. Oh, sorry, I thought you were looking over my shoulder.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. You looking at me? I thought you were handing the beach up.
Okay, the 1975 F-100, $450, as in $450. The 1992 Jet Rider, $525. The 92 F-350 Utility, $675. The pole digger, the 1997 pole digger, $550, and the tractor, the 3910 Ford, at $475. The city reserved the right to accept or decline all bids. I think the first one I read was the highest on the 92.
Yeah, that was that.
Zach Llewellyn, 92 F-350 utility truck, 1,500. And that would put out all of these.
Except for the very last one, if he wants the other 4, that would be it.
If you guys choose to take it.
You did 15?
Huh?
You did 15 on that?
On Zach, that, yeah, I am.
I'll make a motion.
You guys want to see this?
This sells Zach for the F-350.
Okay. Before we,
He has a scrap, that's Rocky Hill. He's scrap yard.
Yeah, is that tractor?
Will the last one
Or
take
75, it
all
runs.
other four vehicles?
Yeah,
that's what I,
All of it.
that's what I need to ask.
It's super easy to
Get rid of all
all
that
at
thing.
once.
If you wanna,
Then you
if
put it
you just
back
wanna
out for
accept
bids
Zach's
again?
bid on the yellow truck, I say that's good. On this here, I say no.
On none of the other 4.
Right.
Okay, so I have a bid, sorry, I have a motion by Justin to accept Zach Llewellyn's $1,500 bid on the 92 F-350 utility vehicle.
Second it.
second by Chuck, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And all other bids are declined.
Okay, so we just keep running the ad?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause somebody asked me about that Ford tractor, two different people today.
Okay, let me get a motion on extending this since we set a date and a time on the closeout.
make a motion to run that ad some more,
How long?
another 30 days.
I'll second it.
How long do you run it for first?
30 days.
Okay, I got a motion by Ernie to extend the other 4 vehicles for 30 more days, a second by Betsy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, Crystal, if you would, give me picture number 4, please. We're talking about container ordinances. I've passed around what Shane has gathered from other cities. I want you to see an example of what I'm talking about. This is over on 11th Street, up South 11th, I believe. So what we have is a fifth wheel that looks abandoned to me when I drive by, and a container that has been set beside it, and something in between there. I'm not sure if it's a hot tub or what, but this property, in my opinion, has been abandoned.
Looks like it.
Where is this at?
South 11th, it's behind the church,
Yeah,
Baptist Church.
Faith Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Ah,
This is why I think we need to address a container ordinance. And I've asked you guys on several meetings to look into that on their own record and some of the stuff that Shane put together for us. I'm still in work on my sheet too, I'll tell you, because there's some lines in there that I think need to be maybe customized to Chetopa. But the point is, now we've got 2 problems. Because you're not moving that trailer out of there without a fifth wheel hitch, and you're not moving that container without some kind of flatbed. And
That's my concern, is that once we allow them, even on a temporary basis, we're never gonna get rid of them. They won't have a way to get them out. They'll be sitting just like this one, with crap and everything else thrown up around them, and junk and everything else.
So if you wanna take pictures of them, I can take pictures of some really nice looking containers all over Joplin and Webster, you know, and they really look nice, and they're kept the yard, everything was junk in there. See, you could throw all that junk you got behind that fifth wheel in that container, and his yard would look a lot nicer. But
Where is she?
you can look, you can look at one yard, we just got a picture of one, but I can show you a lot of pictures of some really nice ones that are really set up nice.
Joplin has zoning ordinances too, and they have to make them look nice to keep it.
Yeah.
if you noticed in some of those descriptions and the ordinances from other cities say that you have to put it on an improved surface or some gravel or something, you can't just
Just lay
lay
it
it
on the ground.
in your yard. But if we're gonna clean up the town, this is the kind of stuff that we're gonna have to deal with, and that's only gonna get worse, in my opinion, the more of these that come in. If it were temporary and somebody needed a place to work, like a workshop, and like what we just approved for that gentleman to, you know, to refurb his house, that was only temporary. I know in some of the homeowner associations, any building that you build outside your house has to be painted or sided to match the house. Of course, we're never gonna get to that point in here, but I'm just, here's my point, is where do you draw the line? Because I don't know that we ever allowed, or this person ever requested to move this in.
I honestly think that was a very long time ago.
I don't know.
I do believe it was a temporary, fix for the property, I think. I'm not sure. I remember somebody telling me something about it.
Doesn't appear that anybody lives there now, but somebody paid the taxes on it this year.
It doesn't help property values either.
If that's the case, why shouldn't we, or couldn't we send a letter to the person that paid the taxes on the property?
We can, but they don't have to sign for it.
There you go. Well, it's, must be a start.
I know you get to the point where you have to do a demolition and a resolution and demolition, and then, you know, it's all at the city's cost.
Yep.
But I did see in the paper, and I sent it to the ladies, Oswego is actually, in the last, Labette Avenue, actually did an ordinance, listed all of their mowing, properties that the city took care of in one document apparently, and put that forth, which isn't the way, I don't believe that's the way we were doing it. We were doing everything individually before, and not getting any restitution on it either, to my knowledge, but.
The process seemed to drag out too long.
Yeah, it did, and
If there's a way to speed up the process.
after a year or two, it dropped off anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, just the process of getting to go and mow.
Right. And my opinion was that, you know, when I was sitting in the seat is, I don't understand why the PD can't just walk up and write you a ticket for an ordinance violation.
And there's towns that do that.
Yep. And Jason, you can jump in here anytime if you got something to say about it, but.
On something like, do we even have a fine for that? I don't think we have a fine schedule for mowing. I mean, all that has to be set up in order for us to give somebody a citation. So if we have a fine schedule set up for it, and we adopt that, then we can write the citation. But the thing is, we still don't know if they get served. Right, so that's the thing, I can put it up there, but if they don't see the ticket or it's not delivered to them, they can say we didn't get it, and then if they don't show up to court, they don't pay their fine, then what are we doing? We issue a warrant for everything else, so at that point, we've got 60 warrants for people who can say, well, I never got a ticket, never got a citation, so that's where we have to figure out something.
You know, ideally, when, on the properties that actually have inhabitants, when they come in to pay their utilities, would be the time to serve them the warrant, or the ticket for the mowing. But I know there's one property over on Third, I don't think it got mowed all year by that owner.
I think there's 2 of them over there that didn't get moved on.
One on 8th Street too.
Yeah, on that corner.
But how many yards did we mow as a city?
With Bush Hall.
Well, I'm just saying, somehow we need to speed up the process, so we can either send them out there to mow it, and then we can assess a fine with the labor charge of mowing it, tacked together with court fees and everything they have to do. And I know other towns do it, so I don't know why we can't.
I think the major issue, if I understand Jason, is actually making contact with the property or whoever's.
Yeah, we have to be able to prove that they were served, and the only way we can prove that they were served is certified mail if they sign for it.
The nuisance ordinance is when the grass gets above 12 inches, then they're gonna be served. So if you can't serve somebody at the property, and you send a letter to somebody, then the letter comes back, and then nobody gets served, how can you mow the yard?
No, that's the thing.
You're saying we can't, I'm saying that there has to be a way too.
We can't, with a subpoena, they have to be served. If they're not served, then we can't, and that's what a ticket is. A ticket is a notice to appear, it's a subpoena.
Yes, it is a notice to appear or subpoena, but if the landowner or the yard or whatever is nowhere to be found, how do you write a subpoena to that person in another state?
You can't.
You can't. So therefore, we still have got to get the log yard mowed.
Right, so how do we do it?
We just mow, I think.
Well, I'll say this, the person that lives across the street from that property that we're discussing, I saw in the grocery store last week or yesterday. So she's walking around, she has another place in the West End that's just as. So whether they sign for a certified letter at the PO or not, if we know who they are and what they look like, there's opportune times to walk up to them and serve them up.
If we see them on the street, we can absolutely do that, if we have it ready.
I'll get some feedback from another town I know that they subpoena them with a ticket. And when they're.
Yeah, that's what what it is, but if we can't deliver it, then they can't be subpoenaed.
Well, our code says that up to not exceeding $500, so we do have it in the code that you can write a ticket for up to.
Right, but we don't have it specified fine amount. I can't write somebody a $500 ticket for not, we have to have a specified amount.
What the other.
I thought the
towns do.
judge would set that when they come to court.
Well, I mean,
We have a fine schedule, so if you're going, I'll use it, a ticket today, 18 miles an hour over is, what is it $93 on that? 18 miles an hour over is $93. 15 miles an hour over is something less, 10 miles an hour is something less. The judge doesn't determine that, we have a set fine schedule for every fine. So possession is a different fine. Possession of marijuana is one fine, possession of paraphernalia is another fine.
So do we need to take out the up to and just say 500 in the ordinance? Is that what you're saying?
If you wanna charge somebody $500 for grass, I don't know how well that'll work. I think we need to come up with a fine.
The fine should be the cost of the labor that it takes to go and do the
It
job.
has to be a set fine, because if not, then there's no need for a fine schedule. So if we wanna say it's $125, if you figure that's gonna cover it, then we can take it, say $125 for the yard.
We changed what we charge for this reason before. We changed the ordinance on that. It was like $50 or $75,
It's $90 minimum of 2 hours.
$90 or 2 hours, $180.
Plus a $35 administration.
So do a $200 fine if we get it adopted, we can talk to the judge, do a $200 fine, and you have a $100 court cost. That's a $300 fine.
Does the code specifically talk about grass and 12, I know it says 12 inches, but does it talk about an exact dollar figure in there?
It just under the nuisance ordinance, it talks about grass and that kind of thing, and it doesn't say about mowing, it just.
But here's the deal, I don't think as a governing body that we have actually had the ability to say, yes, let's go do this or let's not do that. I mean, if we say something, that should happen. But what we do, what will we say, clean that yard up, or we need to clean that yard up, and then we get the same argument that we can't because, we can't serve anybody, but still, we need to clean that yard up. So, irregular, we need to know, we need the list of the houses, we need to know so we can actually go out and we can actually tell our crews to go take care of this. We have to.
Why can't we post it on a pole in the yard?
I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that.
Is that trespassing?
Not if it's posted on a city pole, it's not.
I know everybody has
If it's city-owned property, you can put it on an electric pole in the city, but in all honesty, you should publish it online. We have a city Facebook page, why not gather all the information like that, and you can post it online.
But you can't name names or put
You
addresses.
cannot put names on there, but you can put addresses on there that, they do it in paper, but you can't put names. If it's an ordinance violation, if it's just because, if it's just some random thing, you can't do that, because it could be considered targeting. If it's a list of properties, it's no different than them posting it for auctions, for tax sales. If it's a list of properties that has ordinance violations, you can post it.
Okay, so you're saying that our ordinance isn't worded properly for you to be able to do your job?
Yes.
So we need a motion to change the ordinance. And we can get Shane and Amy and I said and whoever, and reword that to where it has some bite in it.
Make that motion.
Did you find something, Chuck?
Well, that's where it needs to be. You know, express the authority upon enter on private property at all reasonable hours with purpose of cutting, destroying.
This sets up the
removing
assessments
such weeds or
to
matter.
go on the taxes, on grass and that type of
Correct,
thing.
and the people that are deceased, that we mowed, they're on the list that the county is supposed to be setting up the date for.
Dig 'em up, they think it.
Tax sale.
And that's only through 2017.
Right, so it may,
Yeah, when they get ready to have the next tax sale, it's only through 2017.
correct, so you're not gonna get.
You're not gonna get anything.
Right.
No,
Is that not
we
ridiculous?
lose it again.
Yeah, time frame's up on you. Yeah.
This can go in there.
I cannot believe it's 2017.
Now that's true.
But we do have an ordinance that deals with, designation of blighted buildings and premises.
Premises.
So, can that take care of something like this?
What he needs is us to put an exact dollar figure on the fine for over 12 inches of grass. That's what he's asking for. And I think we should be able to do that. And we have the digital ordinances now that we can make those changes pretty easy. So I had a motion by Ernie and a second by Justin to give the city attorney authority to look into this for us, and let's reword that. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes, thank you. Moving on. Okay, we're down to the Dan Diner liquor license. Mr. Gilbert and his daughter came in last meeting for Linda's benefit and requested, and they had an application that they put to the state level and they're asking for us to sign off on it. Did you happen to get that information packet through? Okay.
Yeah, I did today.
In a nutshell, down at the old Riverside building on the north side, he's wanting to basically put a bar in down there. This is all new ground for the city, to my knowledge, and everybody that I've talked to, that we've never actually had hard liquor by the drink in Chetopa. We tabled it for a vote till tonight because I wanted to give the Ministerial Alliance a chance to weigh in. I haven't heard from anybody.
I'm not in favor of granting the liquor license, and I've talked to several people who are also opposed to it, just people in the city.
Noted. I also know that there was a survey taken online, and when I say online, I think it was a Facebook post that was asking for support for it one way or the other. I didn't read it. I was just
Yeah,
told.
there's been some support from patrons, and they would like to, what it all entails is they want the margarita machine, the other stuff like that, the other drinks like that, you know, and so. But I talked to Amy about the fees that we could assess as a city with this, and I think that a $250 fee for the city would be well in our sights.
Now, would a sales tax be assessed on each one of the drinks that was sold there?
Absolutely would.
Is that, yeah, that's what I would
It
think.
would boost their bottom, their ticket, you know, if a person drinks a $7 drink versus a $3 drink, then everybody gets more money. That's what actually Tim was saying.
Mhm. And the other side of the coin is we've got a business here in town that's struggling somewhat, I think.
But I don't think getting sell liquor by the drink's gonna save his business.
Well,
By no means, it's gonna be nothing but trouble, nothing but trouble for the police department, that's all it is. Believe me, I grew up in them. I was in every single one of them growing up there, nothing but
We
trouble.
would have to, talking to Jason, we would have to add additional, probably PD, to be able to deal with this too. So that would be an expense for the city.
Yeah,
go ahead, Jason, I know you wanna say, I know you have, but go ahead.
With something like that, just from like the statistics I read last week, so we would have to have somebody else on at least for a couple hours extra on the weekends. Just because with the increased traffic, with the concerts they're having, stuff like that. Either they would have to contract out security, we would have to have another officer.
And that's what they do in Parsons up there, is when they have a band or they have a comic, a comedian, they hire their own security and they have security for their premises. So people can't sneak out.
It's a small town, right? But if we had an extra 150 people in the city and everybody's drinking,
yeah.
that's a problem. I just got in a fight with 6 guys in the middle of the road the other night because, and Justin was a witness to it. They're all acting like idiots because they're all drunk.
Yeah.
Where was this
So,
this was up on, at the place.
it was like right by the fire department. But I mean, it was 2 hours that I was out in the middle of the street dealing with it.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just me. So luckily, I can handle it. County came down to help, but if
What's
it's
the
a different
fine
officer,
what's the fine for drunk and disorderly?
we don't have one.
So we'd have to do that too.
We have a drunk on the public highway, that's
Right.
that's the only better than DUI.
So what would be an estimate of a fine for a DUI and stuff?
DUI, is that,
It's $1,000 and, no, it's
Yeah, I think it's
$1,000
$1,000.
and then they have to pay a $700
yeah,
no,
it's a mandatory
$250
48 hour.
fee to go to.
More
the
revenue.
police.
And then mandatory 48 hours jail time, mandatory, so.
Tammy, did you have something you wanted to say? Oh,
I
okay, yeah.
definitely do. You guys, this is across from our city park. How are we gonna address this summer? I mean, they're gonna have the summer concerts, that's all great, but it's still gonna be right across from our city park. How are we gonna keep that liquor from going over into our parks?
There's a
We
reason.
can't leave
there's
the
a reason
property,
why-
really. If it does,
Yeah,
it's-
it's gonna happen, guys.
Right, well, and the river's right there too, so how many river rescues are we gonna have with people that are margarita drunk out there rolling down the hill?
I don't know. I don't know how many people jump in the river after smoking something from the convenience store.
We've had 3 this summer, so.
There's a reason there's no more VFW at Oswego, there's no brass rail, there's no, Glen, there's no bars like this around that serve liquor by the drink anymore. There's a reason for it.
They've all shut down.
They're all shut down. Yeah.
It's
It's not because, we need to patronize somebody that wants to serve liquor by the drink. We got a town to take care of here.
Have we had an increase of problems since they started serving beer, right?
Beer, I mean, beer's not a problem, we always have.
they always had more beer.
Have we had an increase, is basically?
We have an increase every summer compared to, or every winter compared to every summer, because people in the winter time get stir crazy and they start drinking, and that's when your domestics, and then your summer comes with
There was a lot of
drinking
drinking
with
in this
river,
town.
Yeah, there was.
fire,
There was a
so I mean,
number of noises
it just
started.
depends on moon cycle, I'm guessing, so.
No, it was just beer, it wasn't a mix.
Yeah.
And Jessica, since you're not from this area, originally anyway, we used to have a 3.2% alcohol for beer, and then it got raised to 5. And I think there's probably been a significant increase in the problems, even with
Well,
that.
100 proof drink is 50% alcohol. You can drink a 30-pack and not get what you get out of that one drink. So you drink 2 drinks and,
I wouldn't
it's
say
like
that.
drinking 2 30-packs.
We used to have 6 or 7 beer joints.
Yes, we did.
And we don't have any anymore.
Chuck was in every one of them, he said,
Yep.
and I remember those too, but
My family ran several of those, so be careful what you talk about here.
I used to go get a good hamburger and play play this game, you roll the thing at the bowling pins down there, remember that one?
Going down.
Edith joint.
Yeah, that snooker table.
Yeah,
And they didn't even care if you were raised or not, so let's go ahead.
I would make a motion to deny the liquor by the drink.
Okay, any other discussion before we go? I've got a motion by Betsy to deny the approval of the application from the city perspective. Do we have a second?
I second.
Second by Chuck. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Why don't I hold it?
Linda opposed.
That'd be the top of the town.
Justin, are you on?
We
I look at it two ways, but it's not gonna matter right now, cause I'm not doing it anyways.
go to the
All
front.
restaurants have it, but if he's gonna keep it as a restaurant, but it kinda turns more towards the bar area, so.
And
I look at it both ways, I'm a great bar liquor, but if to help the business, I think it should be beneficial, it's a double-edged sword right there, you know, which way to go with it.
Don't they have to serve a certain percent of food in order to have a liquor license?
A certain percent?
Yeah, I thought that a certain percent of their sales had to be from food and not just strictly alcohol.
I know what you're saying.
I think the
Yeah.
restaurant fees have to be a certain percent in order to do that.
Yeah.
okay, so the motion passes. We'll let Mr. Gilbert come back to us if he's got another idea. I know some places might only just have a margarita machine and not sell anything else. And I believe that's what he mentioned when he,
That's what he mentioned,
yeah.
but.
But when you
Also
look,
mentioned liquor,
Yeah.
drinks.
Well, when you-
shots and-
No, he did mention that too.
Yeah, he did, he mentioned all of that.
when you look at the map that he provided, there's not only a bar section, there is a bar storage area, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a
which
full-fledged.
eventually would end up being not a restaurant, nothing but a full-blown bar.
Well,
Basically, everything that Chris, he's got now, and that was in the proposal to be a bar. Anyway,
I don't know, I don't think we're equipped for it right now anyways, so.
motion denied. Okay, now the last thing that we got under old business, which I should have probably talked about right after, Wes briefed us, but in my discussion with the utility lady and the city clerk, and now we're gonna drag the city attorney in. When we were talking about tap fees for water or sewer, the subject about the water tap fees came up that we had, and some of you were here that when we passed that ordinance that, changed it from $75 to $750 for us to go out and dig.
Yep.
Did you guys get the ordinance that we're looking at, 1004? Is it just me? Okay. What we came to the conclusion of, that we failed to, talk about sewer taps. And even though VG is telling us that they'll make the taps up for the next year on what was in the scope of the work, we don't have any more capability to dig sewer taps than we do water taps, so.
What do we charge now? Is it
This is 75.
75? So just move the decimal, and that's what we did with the water, and it's 750. So,
It's kind of what we were thinking, but we wanted to put it to the council that we need to probably address water as well as sewer. So we would need an ordinance.
I think we could just amend this one and add it in, quite honestly. Sewer system entitled to that. Utilities, water section, sewer is water.
And then reference sewer, wastewater.
We could have paragraph C on this and amend.
Okay, can I get a motion on that from the council?
make the motion, are you saying amend this with, and add water? And then
To add the sewer tax.
sewer tap, okay, I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Ernie, second by Linda, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I just want to congratulate all the council members on their election. There we go. There were the numbers there if you didn't see them on votes. And I'd also point out that there were 6 write-in votes.
And I'd also like to point out that I got the lowest amount of votes, so.
Well, there you're doing your job.
I'm doing my job.
I don't know, but congratulations to all
I'm
3
doing
of
my
you.
job. I got the lowest amount of points. I'm making everybody mad.
And, I guess the other 3 will be up next time. Okay, I attended a virtual meeting with KMEA this week. Crystal was on there too, but she couldn't hear. This is the company that we buy our water from. I mean our electricity, sorry. There are a lot of cities in Kansas that are actually generating their own electricity through their use of generators, comparable, a lot bigger than what we bought down at the water plant, but that's how they're generating their power, through Caterpillar. Secondly, KMEA has, at this meeting, approved an $8.2 million building to be built in Salina, Kansas for Midwest. The thing that caught my attention the most, they bought 15 acres, I think it was, and they paid $21,000 an acre for this property, and it's out on the outskirts of Salina. And I don't know what was so special about it, but that sounds like a lot of money per acre to me. In other words,
Find out who owned it, and then you'll know.
yeah, $375,000. But I say all of that to say that they told us that our annual fee that we pay to be a member won't go up. But then later on, they said in their briefing that that's how they pay for some of their stuff is through the fees. But again, I just want to reiterate that electric rates are going to go up. Our contract, I believe, runs out in 2026 at the rate that we're paying right now. Isn't that correct? Yeah. So next year, and then we're going to have to decide what to do. So that's what happened in the meeting there.
Well, they'll be raising the rate for us,
Exactly.
because they just raised my daughter's 30% over there in Cherokee County, Liberty. They buy directly from Liberty. Went up $111 from last month, this month.
And I'm glad you say things like that, Chuck, because this being public, if we think it's bad now,
Then we go over.
then we're in for a bigger surprise. But,
Everybody just needs to remember that those switches all have on and off switches.
You know,
some things that I saw happening around town, I'm gonna try to speed this along a little bit, but I just like to bring up things that I see, and of course, if you're out driving around, you see things too that I probably don't, but, Veterans Park, the playground equipment got reinstalled that we had out and Ernie built the bracket for, and I think it's back serviceable now. The swimming pool, the fence curtain, we ended up putting one on the outside so it wouldn't blow the inside up and over it. That looks a lot better, so thanks to the guys for doing that. And I would say that the ladies in the office do a lot of the direction and cutting the work orders that they see when they're out and about, as well as me. And you guys are welcome to cut them work orders too on stuff that you see that needs fixed. I saw the May Leslie building gutters being cleaned out. I'm sure the senior center got it too. Somebody was up here repairing the sheet metal on the side of the shop building. I saw one day.
I seen the guys cleaning gutters around the island out there and stuff with the bobcat or the skid steer.
Yeah, there was an implement, and Ernie had sent me a couple of pictures on something that he thought maybe Russell Creek Engineering could,
I asked him and he said they don't build that yet, but it would help us to put an attachment on the front of the skid steer, and then you can run a low pressure. You can run your 5-foot bush hog on the front of your skid steer, and then you can get to these places that need to be cut, and it would be real fast.
right, because there's a lot of these properties, folks, that the trees, the saplings are this big because they've been neglected
Yeah.
so long, that we don't have anything, and we wanted to go in there and cut those down.
Yeah. The cost of that piece is about $800 for the attachment and $1,200. No, about $1,200 for the whole thing. So it's not an expensive piece.
I think we tabled that until next year when we got new money, but.
Yeah.
Good ideas. I'm happy for anything you guys send forward that help make our jobs easier. I saw the Veterans Memorial being, washed. I guess Debbie, did you have something to do with that?
What?
The Veterans Memorial being cleaned?
You worked on it.
A funeral, I saw a funeral home truck down there, pressure washing, I thought, looks good on Veterans Day. So thank you for that.
They take very good care of us, you know, they're putting more names on, we have more names put on, we're getting ready to put another bench, down there, so.
Good. Go ahead, Pam.
I know there was something talked about one time that we need to be careful what we're washing with down there, and the cement needs to be protected from the ice or the salt that's put down during the winter.
Most definitely, yeah.
And I know that was discussed when I was in that chair, but I don't know that anything ever went forward, and I don't even remember what it was. I just remember it being something that we needed to coat the cement with down around there to protect it from those things.
David Denny's the person that we need to contact, because he's the one that helped pour the cement and gave us the guidance on that, so. I'll get with him again.
Yeah, they make a sealer for it.
Yeah, I think there's some ice melt that you can use that is safe.
Magnesium,
Yeah, and then there's some that eats stuff up, yeah.
Yeah, we
But it still needs to be sealed up, if it hasn't been sealed, it only lasts about 3 years, that sealer.
Yeah, it's probably been all of that, hasn't it?
Oh, probably.
I'll
Because I mean, it was when I was there, and that was early in my.
Pump up, spray.
Okay, and lastly, I saw, I didn't see, but I know that the Christmas decorations on Main Street are being put up. They may already be.
Excellent.
Lights all work.
Very good.
We just noticed one does not, but
One
we're
doesn't.
working on that.
Okay, under new business, moving on. We are unfortunately going to have to do a budget amendment for this tax year. What caused it, and you probably got the documentation. We, with the water plant riser repair, we weren't able to budget for that, and we had to pay for it before the year was out. I think it was about $55,000 differential there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So our hearing for that will be December 2nd, so please make it to the December 2nd meeting.
Do we need a motion to approve that?
No, we'll have the hearing on the next council meeting, the 2nd.
Okay, and the add-on was, we're gonna need a 4-month extension letter. I need to sign it for the water office since we're gonna have to move into next year to finish up the sewer project. I'm just gonna need a council approval to sign that request for an extension. Okay. Got a motion by Linda, a second by Jessica. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's it, so.
Hey, before we, did we decide to have a party for our employees?
Yeah,
Do we have a date?
we do December 13th.
December
Sorry, I
13th?
said that last meeting and I forgot.
Okay, and are we going to have a fire pit?
Thank you guys.
Okay, because I talked to her yesterday and so I will have to check.
Do you need any help with that?
Yeah, I mean, I want to stop by and figure out what exactly we're doing.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, with that, go ahead, Aaron.
Sally had to leave, but, I need 9 initials, and I'll take this to Cody, the contract. And then, what's the status of that tower?
It's coming down, right?
Yes, they told me they'll be taking it down.
Any idea of a time frame? They're still
He
live?
said as soon as possible, I'll find out and then I'll let you know, okay?
Who do I give this to?
I'll take it.
Now?
That's fine. I think this is probably,
She wrote that.
I'm just gonna do a line.
She wrote the line item on the back, I signed it, and there's just an initial for you at the bottom of each page, and then I will take this and have the call initial, and she'll put it in the code tomorrow. So that's what.
All right, pass it.
Yes, sir.
Now, we've got an executive session. Sorry. We have one executive, right?
Yes.
So I need a motion.
Oh,
Just, 5 minutes.
we need a motion to go into executive session for 5 minutes.
Second.
For non-elected personnel,
Okay.
and who do you want in it?
Who's usually?
Council,
Okay.
the attorney, the clerk.
Okay.
Okay, I've got a motion by Linda, second by Jessica to go into executive. All those in favor? Opposed? 5 minutes.